Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you're watching from. It is game week 16. We're there. We're here. The final game week before the World Cup next week. How are we all doing? Good morning to Doctor. Good morning to Kobe. Hope you're both well. Let's hope for that final green arrow. That's what we want, boys. That's what we want this week. I think my move is pretty much, I've put transfers there as Mitro to Solanke. I'm pretty certain that's what I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to risk the site crashing again just in case we get some news. I think that's the situation I'm in. I've got the armband on Haaland. Again, there's a question mark over him starting, right? So who knows what happens, but yeah. Hopefully it's another successful stream, guys. I'm not too sure if we're going to get to the 500 mark. Unless somebody, by miracle, raids me or something else. I'm really not sure we can hit that 500 mark. But I've got a new notification system in place as well now. So if anyone does subscribe to the channel, I will get notified on this stream. And you'll see it above the overall points. So that's why there's a bit of a layout change as well. Doctor, you're a happy man. Did you captain Trippier? I can't remember if you locked it in, if you changed it last minute or what happened, but what a week to get him again. Was it 11 points and 12 points back to back? The man's an absolute legend. The man is an absolute legend. I think the thing with him playing Chelsea this week, like I still back him to do well. I can see goals in it, but I still think he's going to do well. Obviously not a captaincy choice, but indeed up the Trippier, mate. I'm a little bit gutted as a United fan that we didn't go for him, to be honest. I think, don't get me wrong, Dallow's had a really good season so far. He really has, but I think he was an absolute steal, and we should have taken him up on the offer, to be honest. I can't even imagine what United's season would look like if we had him in the team, to be honest. But would he have scored as many FPL points? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, he's a very, very good player, and I'm glad he's in the England squad for the World Cup as well. You're going to do it again. You're going to captain Trippier again. Well, mate, if you do it, then that is brave, I think, with the likes of everybody else's fixtures. Liverpool against Southampton, even United against Fulham, City against Brentford. There's so many opportunities. Tottenham against Leeds. There's just so many good fixtures there. Even Arsenal against Wolves, to be honest, to some degree. Maybe they're a little bit better defensively from on Wolves' perspective, but there's a lot of captaincy choice out there, bud. Is it actually, out of curiosity though, has it actually given you a green arrow in the past few weeks? Do you think the captaincy choice has actually solely done that? Hi, Yosef. Welcome to the stream, bud. Wilson to Darwin or Nico Williams to Robertson Perisic? I think both of them have very, very good upside. I mean, I mentioned in my last video, the statistics of Perisic are really, really good. The underlying numbers of him when he plays on that forward role, yes, I can see him being a very, very strong pick against Leeds. But I do see him conceding, to be honest. I see Tottenham conceding, and I'm not too sure about Perisic starting up top. I think maybe Lucas Moura might even get a start and playing with Kulusevski and Kane if Richarlison's not back. So I think out of those options, I do prefer Darwin. I think his numbers are fantastic. I think he's going to provide a lot of opportunity. I know Southampton have now got a new manager, but it's just not enough time to instill any type of play style. So I just think they're going to be in a bit of turmoil. So I can see a lot of goals in that. Thoughts on Dalot to Gabriel? I do like the move, Kobe, to be honest. If you've got no... The thing is, for me, defensive transfers are a little bit on the back burner, in my opinion. I just think that we've got lots of good fixtures from an attacking point of view, right? We've got Man United against Fulham. We've got Arsenal against Wolves. City against Brentford. Tottenham against Leeds, like the list goes on. There's quite, and even Palace against Forest, right? There's plenty of opportunity to attack the attackers. But if you're comfortable with your, let's say your front seven, your front five, whatever you're going with, I think then, to be honest, I do like that move. Dallow's out, right? So I like Arsenal's odds of a clean sheet. 700k in the last 3 game weeks. That is very, very good news, mate. Well done. Well done. Trippier isn't on my wild card this game week. Have a guess. Oh, my, your only wild card. I think you've probably gone Martial, right? I mean, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about him. And to be honest, I like him as a 1 week punt. I do. I just never included him, I suppose, into my video because I just wasn't sure about his return from injury. And then obviously he played against Villa on Thursday. So if it is him, good luck. I mean, I don't think Ronaldo starts. If I'm honest, I mean, he's flagged as 75% chance of playing because of illness. I think that's very well timed for the World Cup, to be honest. That's my view, is that he hasn't really been on form for United, so he's probably just, got himself out of the team, ready for the Portugal squad. Ollie Watkins, wow, that is a punt. That is a punt. That certainly is a punt. Although, I mean, I think that Emery's going to be getting Villa playing properly. Let's face it, right? The football under Gerrard wasn't very good. Excuse me. Obviously, we lost to them at the weekend, and I know we beat them 4-2, but it was, weakened squads in some areas, let's say. So, I don't know. I think he is a reasonable option. You'd expect he's on penalties if Ings doesn't start, I suppose. Why not, mate? You've done punts for the past few weeks, so why not? Rinaldi, hello from Indonesia. Hello, mate. Hello. It makes me, I don't know, I just feel it's so crazy that I'm sat in the UK and just, someone else in a completely different country in a completely different side of the world has tuned in and said good morning or evening or whatever time it is over there. It still baffles me a little bit, to be honest. But welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy the content. If you haven't subscribed already as well, first plug of the day for my 4 current viewers, then please hit that button. Ollie Watkins captain. No, I'm not that crazy. No, I don't think you can do that. I think that him as a differential enough is fine. You don't need to put the armband on him as well. But I mean, you're very brave if you did, mate. You're very brave if you did. Sebastian, good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the stream. Doctor, did Cancelo's red card get reversed? So no, it was the League Cup fixture in the midweek that allowed him to serve that red card suspension. So because it wasn't violent conduct, it's only a 1-match ban. And essentially with the League Cup, because of that fixture, he was able to serve it. Now, with Deleu's 5 yellow cards, there's a different ruling where, although he's still flagged as suspended for game week 16, he was able to play, obviously, in the 4-2 cup game against Villa, and that's just because it was 5 yellows rather than a red card. It's a bit weird, to be honest. I mean, I'm very, very lucky in some ways, or all of us as owners, I suppose, are lucky that he isn't suspended this week, because it would have given me more headaches, I suppose, to solve the team. But it's worked out. It's worked out. The perfect week, really, for him to get a red card. From that sense, obviously, if you captained him, then no, it wasn't the best week. But Yeah, even I was confused myself, mate, because after he got the red card, I think later on in the fixtures, I checked on the screen and I couldn't see on the pick team page that he was obviously flagged, right? So it just triggered me to go and do some research, basically. Sebastian, last game week, my captain was Almiron, and honestly, it was not that bad. He got 16 points, so 2 more than KDB, for example. Yeah, very good pick, mate. I think, to be honest, again, it's just he's tripping me up everywhere, right? To be honest, I keep saying that I just think he's another Lingard. He's going to go on this run, and then he's going to blank for 5 weeks after that or whatever. But he just keeps delivering. I just think that, under Eddie Howe, there must be some personal one-to-one management or team management that's suiting him right now, and he's just on complete form. So I don't really blame you for captaining him, and then to obviously score more points than the likes of De Bruyne is great news, mate. I hope you got a green arrow, bud. Doctor, hopefully Haaland gets dropped so many people are captaining him. If he gets a hat-trick, I'm simply in the mud. Yeah, I think, look, this is the problem. It's really difficult because I could go 2 ways, right? As a content creator, I could sit here and go, right, do you know what? I'm just going to go with captaining Darwin. I think he's already enough of a differential, but let's just say I want to go all out, game week 16. If he goes and bags a brace or a hat-trick and Haaland blanks, I'm absolutely I'm probably halving my rank. I'm probably getting into the 500k mark. And let's say De Bruyne even only gets 1 assist or something like that, then absolutely I think there's a massive upside to doing it. But you're right, that if I don't captain him, it's almost going to be very, very difficult to claw back any sense of respect for a finished rank, right? It's going to be so difficult because if Haaland starts, he gets a brace, and as well as that, Brentford are, abysmally defensive. Like they're so abysmal from a defensive point of view in the middle of the park. Like Haaland, it's a perfect fixture for him. It is absolutely perfect. They concede so many chances down the middle. And that is why I've got the armband on him still, because I think even if he doesn't start, he looks so sharp against Fulham. I think, all the press conferences from Pep that I've, and all of the details from him, or the lack of detail, should I say, where he's just saying, we'll see, he's in training, we'll see, and the kind of, I think he's trademarked the "we'll see" comment, right? But he looked good against Fulham. I'm sorry, but just in those last few, I don't think he didn't look like a striker that's got a broken foot. Do you know what I mean? Or even ligament damage in it. I think he starts. That's my prediction with it. So I feel comfortable putting the armband on him. But anyway, for the past 3 weeks, we've had this debate, I suppose, right? It's always been a little bit suspect. Do we go with him? Do we go without him? I'm just going to hold faith that he starts. Sebastian, so do you think Haaland is going to start? Because this game week I'm going to use my triple captain. I would highly suggest not doing that, Sebastian. I would highly suggest not doing that. Just because there's 2 factors. And if you've been on live streams before, you may have heard me talking about it. But, I know you've been on live streams before. But I don't know if you've heard me talking about this specifically. You have to wait until a double game week with the likes of Erling Haaland, in my opinion. This season, as long as he's not injured, I just feel like a double game week for him could be huge, regardless of the fixtures. So I really don't see the point in triple captaining him this week. Also, because of there's this question mark over him starting or not, it's just so risky. If he only gets 45 minutes and scores 1 goal, you're going to regret that so much. So I can't stress enough how important I think triple captain is for double game weeks. I just think that's when you use it. There are absolute upsides to using it in single game weeks as well. I will hands down say yes. There are people probably in the top 10,000 managers that have consistently used it in single game weeks and they know more about FPL than I do. But I think the statistics will always back, or the chance is always going to be backed on the double game week, right? You have a double opportunity to do well. So I just think it makes sense. If news breaks out that Haaland benched, I'm triple captain Trippier. Mate, if you do, then again, like I've just said, good luck. It's a single game week and a fixture where goals could be scored. So I wish you the best of luck, mate, if you do. Are you Zem? DCL to Martial or Firmino? I would probably go Martial as a 1 week punt on that, bud. I think this Firmino could do well. I'm imagining you can't get to Darwin, so if you or you already have him. So yeah, I think out of the two of them, if they're your options, I think I lean towards Martial, to be honest. I feel like this Fulham fixture's going to be a few goals in it. I think there's going to be a few goals in it. We've even seen him take penalties before. And I'm not too sure if this is similar to the Arsenal situation, where if Martinelli wins a penalty, he like takes the ball, basically. But I think Martial's done that a few times for us. He's won a penalty, and then he's just picked up the ball. And I'm pretty certain that Ronaldo's not going to play. Fernandes will obviously be on the pitch, but I'm not sure if he will pull rank on him. Maybe he does because, he wants to score more goals in this season. But there's every potential. Doctor, you're ranked 37 in the league. Can you check my team transferred Skamaka to Watkins? I'll have a look in 1 second, mate. I'm just replying to a tweet for someone, and we'll go through your team. Chasing red arrows. I'm pretty sure City will win big. When Brentford fails in tactics, they lose big time. Absolutely. And the thing is, if you've only just joined the stream, I was talking about it that the statistics for the amount of chances that Brentford concede down the centre. This is absolutely made for a number 9, basically. So Haaland or Alvarez, whoever starts, I think can really go massive. I think against Fulham, they were, the red card definitely stifled City's flow, right? You can't take that away from them. So I think this is definitely a 4 or 5 niller. Zem, you're going to wait for Foden news, so if he doesn't start, you'll sell him for Saka or Rashford and start Trippier over DCL. I think that's a smart move. I think that's a very, very good move. I think I prefer the Foden to Saka or Rashford move over DCL to Martial or Firmino. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me. Chasing red arrows 30 min with Haaland could be enough. I'm not sure Liverpool will destroy Southampton. No, I can see a couple of goals in it though. I could see a 2-0 potentially from Liverpool. I feel like against Spurs it was a pretty exciting game, and it was what I predicted. It was very, very end to end. It was an open match. I don't think Southampton are going to give them as much of an open match. Let's face it. New manager, they're probably going to start on the back foot. I'm not convinced that Darwin won't get anything or Salah won't get anything, though. I think they'll be in and amongst the returns. But I agree. I don't think it's going to be a destruction. Sebastian, but I have no chance to get even in the top 5 mil because I started game week 6 and I have a bet with my brother, so I triple captain Haaland and my brother is going to triple captain Salah. Okay, I mean, in this scenario then, if you're not kind of chasing rank, you've basically started 6 weeks late, then of course there is a huge upside in, I suppose, Haaland triple captain over Salah, but it's up to you, bud. It's up to you. I just, like I say, then for next season, if you start from game week 1, my recommendation to you is with chips, even with the bench boost, stuff like that, we plan for double game weeks. You'll see probably my content from January onwards when we'll be covering when they start getting announced because of cup fixtures and all the other congestion that goes on in the second half of a season. You'll start seeing me covering content about double game weeks, put it that way. And then that's when we'll be discussing chip usage and the maximum output from those chips, basically. So, if it's your first season, there is a lot to learn. It's something that I made the mistake of when I was playing casually for the first few years. I just used them kind of as and when I wanted. And it just, in terms of rank, it never really benefits in the long term, I think. But that's my personal kind of opinion, I suppose. Other people might say different. Right, Doctor, let's have a look at your team, bud. What time are we on? 20 past 10. Okay, we'll do it on here. 40-something, he said, 30-something, 37th. $60 points all out. The captain Trippier, look at that. So you've done Skamaka to Wilson, to Ollie Watkins, right? So for this week, then I'm assuming you're lining up with Haaland, Watkins, Have you done something with Wilson then or not? You're just going to keep playing him. And your midfield of De Bruyne, Martinelli, Zaha. Well, I like those 3 picks this week anyway, so they're not going anywhere. Zuma's a bit of a tricky one, I suppose, this week. I can see Leicester maybe scoring against you. I thought your home fixtures were going to be a bit better, but I don't know. I watched a little bit of the game last week against Palace, and I wasn't convinced with you defensively. So maybe you can even argue that playing Andreas ahead of someone like Zuma is better. Because I like Trent against Southampton. Trippier, obviously, he's been your man basically for the past few weeks. So I think playing him against Chelsea is a no-brainer. Cancelo too, and Ramsdale against Wolves is also a no-brainer. So I think, to be honest, yeah, if you're going to play Wilson and just hope that he starts, I think the only move you look at really is maybe Andreas playing ahead of Zuma. But that's only if you back that, because if Mitrovic isn't playing, remember Andreas is on set pieces like penalties. So I can see Fulham scoring against us today, and it's just whether or not you back your team, I suppose, to get a clean sheet, or you back Fulham against us. That's really my only advice to you there. But it's I think your team definitely is ready for a reset. I mean, with an overall rank of 4 mil, you're ready for a reset, and I'm glad the Green Arrows have come. So pretty much it's been 400k difference in rank over the past few weeks. Very, very good. Very, very good. Syed, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. Top of the league just by 1 point. Yes, mate. You're having a strong, strong season, aren't you, bud? Took out De Bruyne for Salah. Fair enough. You've reversed the transfer, right? Because didn't you do that last week? You did the Salah to De Bruyne move, right? Dylan, should you get Jesus or Saliba? Which one do you think will get more points? I think in this week alone, I'm backing attackers, Dylan. So I think if you want to get an Arsenal asset out of those two, I would say Jesus. Harry is Garnacho worth the risk? Look, he's in the thumbnail just because of what he did against Villa, to be honest. I think he is an absolute superstar in the making. And that's not just knee-jerk. I just think that he was always a good signing for us. It was just a matter of when Bruno come out and said about his attitude in like training and maybe the beginning of the season wasn't quite there. I think he's turned a corner. So I don't think he's worth an FPL risk. I'm going to be honest. I think it's too risky. But as a player, he is definitely going to be one to watch for next season. He's ahead of Sancho in my books at the moment. He's absolutely phenomenal. No worries, Doctor. I hope that helped, mate. It's SJ. Who is better to bring in? Tavernier, March, Mitoma. Mitoma's a strange one, right? Like against Villa at the Amex, possibly. Does he get a start? I don't know enough about their rotation. I mean, they are really strange options that you're going for. What's the specific price points that you're working with there, bud? Is it something like 5 something million? Is that why you're asking for those players? $4.9, yeah. So maybe it's 5 million you've got to work with or something like that. Give me the details, mate, about who you're transferring out, because in isolation, I'm just not too sure about those 3 options. Syed, unfortunately brought in KDB for Salah, then Salah burned us all. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I dropped about 70k, but at this rank, it doesn't matter. 1.1 million, 70k is just nothing. So I do feel like, it was a bit of a burning transfer, but on paper, it was an obvious move, I think. No one would have seen a brace against Spurs. Sebastian, so basically this year I'm going to have fun in FPL, so I'm trying to beat my friends. Next year, trying to get top 100k. Fair enough, Sebastian. Absolutely, completely understand why you've gone down that road of triple captain and betting with your brother. I get it, mate. If you're going to make it fun, why not take those punts, mate? I think I'm absolutely on board with that. Syed, any updates on Haaland? Who are you captaining? At the moment, the armband's on him. I haven't got any updates. I've been refreshing Twitter a little bit just to see if we get any news. I'm probably going to tune into a couple of YouTubers as well, just to have a look and see if they've got any news as well. But I mean, this channel, I suppose, has a reasonable enough activity on it to be able to get news ahead of the deadline. But I'm not as formidable at getting sources as other people yet. I just haven't been in the game, let's say, long enough. But at the moment, the armband is on him because I do trust that he's going to get points even if he starts on the bench. Abdullah, hi mate. Hello, bud. How you doing? So 5.2 mil for SJ. Who are you transferring out out of curiosity, or what other options have you got? Join late today. No worries, mate. You're still here, which is the main thing, and I'm happy to have yous. You remember asking if I should transfer in Rashford and you said yes, so I did and he scored, so I'll trust you again. Nice one, mate. Well, he didn't do the business last week, and I really thought, you see, that Rashford that we saw in the League Cup, if you watch the game on Thursday, that is the Rashford that I thought we were going to get on Sunday when we played Villa again. And it didn't happen, obviously, from a Premier League perspective. He was completely missing. But then at Old Trafford, he turns up and he looked absolutely on fire. So I feel like he is a very, very solid option for anyone that is looking at a midfielder. And yeah, I'm glad that my advice paid off on this one occasion, because it doesn't always work. Abdullah, should you captain Kane or Haaland? I think that's a very close call. I think if you get news that Haaland isn't starting, then I would probably say Kane is the better option. Sayed Abdullah, sorry about last week. Yeah, I mean, I was also in the same boat though, bud. I also said the same thing. So I don't think you're the only player that would have recommended that. Hiya, Samuel. How you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. That's it, exactly. You know, it is so frustrating that Salah goes and literally bags a 15-pointer. I just think that, you know, it made sense from a captaincy point of view as well. Because did you captain De Bruyne? And the question mark over that is, if you didn't captain De Bruyne, would you have captained Mo Salah? Probably not. Like, I can't remember the stream on how it played out, but I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't have done that. You would have captained somebody else. You might have even captained Cancelo or someone else. So it is about luck sometimes with FPL, yes. But I think that you can take the fixtures and the statistics that are in front of you and make educated choices. And I still think that Salah to De Bruyne was the right move in that week once we knew that Haaland wasn't starting. So I'm sorry it didn't pay off this week, but it happens, bud. Absolutely. Oh, you captained Haaland. Okay. Well, you still got, I suppose, the extra 5 points there. Samuel, you currently have De Bruyne captain and Haaland vice, but rumours of De Bruyne not starting either. Well, I mean, if he doesn't start, it's going to be an absolute gutting again that he doesn't start. Or for this team in general, because I'm really backing him to do well. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. That's why I haven't made my move yet. I've put on the screen that Mitro to Solanke is kind of my thought process, but I'm more than happy to put him on the bench, play Andreas ahead of him, and then do something with my team if I have to. Sell Wilson or Alvarez to Darwin. Selling Wilson, I'd have enough for Trent in defence for a -4, and selling Alvarez only Perisic. Well, if you're going to go for a -4 either way, regardless of the choice you make between Wilson's being sold or Alvarez being sold, I think Darwin and Trent are probably the two that I would go for. If you're going to take the 1 weeks, I think they're probably the best two options out of Darwin and Perisic. I think that Leeds might score. And Perisic isn't guaranteed to start up top. So I think out of the two of them, I'd prefer Trent and Darwin if you're going to do a -4. Abdullah, I've done the exact same thing, bro. Took out Salah for KDB. Likewise to me as well. Oh, Syed, you did have captain banned on Salah. Oh, man. That is so brutal. Well done, Dylan, mate, for the 15-pointer. Well done. I think Perisic is a great option, but like I just said, you've got to be careful that like his statistics last game week were very good, but because he was playing up top, I don't think that's going to be the case this week. I think he starts. I have every faith that he probably starts, but I don't think he's going to get into that advanced role ahead of Lucas Moura or Richarlison. If they both get into the team, then I think he has to hold back a little bit. But I do still think he has a potential, which is why I put him onto my featured 1 week punts, right? Sebastian, so you talk about double game weeks. When are they? They are always usually in the second half of the season. So, you know, to put it as kind of like an overview, again, if this is your first season or you're not used to the concept of double game weeks, ultimately what it is the fixtures have to be moved from, let's say, a weekend fixture on a Saturday, but because of cup fixtures, it gets moved into, let's say, a midweek of a different game week. So ultimately that team might blank in 1 week and then double in another. And we get this information usually, let's say 5, 6, maybe even as ahead of like say 8 weeks in advance. And what happens is you can see the fixtures change. You can then plan your moves ahead of time to be able to avoid the blanks and target the doubles. You can also use chips like your wildcard, free hit, everything else to manage the blanks and the doubles as well. But I've always found that bench boost and triple captain are better used on those double game weeks. So that's kind of in a nutshell how they come about. You'll never really see them in the first half of the season, usually, unless there's some obscure, fixture, I don't know, let's say like the train strike situation with Palace and Brighton, there was every chance that maybe that fixture got rearranged in the first half. He will potentially play as a striker. I do agree that Perisic could do it, but I'm not sure he does. Kulu's definitely going to be playing, I think. After getting an assist after, 90 seconds, I don't think Conte can bench him. I think he definitely gets a start. If Richarlison starts on the bench, then you're quite right that maybe Perisic does start up top. I'm not sure. Maybe Lucas gets a shout because it's the last week before the World Cup. I don't know what Conte is going to do. Paul O'Keefe has been right in many occasions, but he's also been wrong, so I don't know how much you trust it. But again, it just goes back. I do like Perisic as an option. I'm not trying to deter you away from him as a pick. I like to say I put him in my video as an option. I just think you've got to go into the mindset of, yes, I'm ready for the risk, right? That's the way that I would look at it. Be ready for an upset. Syed, this week I've looked at how many goals Southampton and Brentford have conceded. I just think Liverpool got more goals today. Okay, understandable. I'm not too sure on that. I think City will probably beat Brentford by a higher amount. Play Webster or Gahey. I would probably back Gahey against Forest, to be honest. I think Villa maybe. Amex is a hard stadium to go to. I know I've said that many times, but Brighton are very, very good defensively. But I can see Villa maybe doing something. So, yeah, I think you back Palace for that one. Best defender under 5.9. Considering Perisic, Gabriel, but also Stones, who's probably locked at right back for this game week. Best defender under 5.9 million. I think you're right. Perisic and Gabriel are probably the two standout options for me. I back Arsenal's chance of a clean sheet. Gabriel, of course, he got the 15-pointer. You can't always back the defender to score a goal. So I do like him. I mean, you could also put maybe Saliba in the mix as well as an Arsenal defender, because I still think they've got a high chance of a clean sheet. Under 5.9, I'm just trying to think. There's no one really. You've probably tripled up on City, so there's no point in recommending them. I think they're probably the two that I would go with at that price point, to be honest. I don't think there's any other standouts, and I'm assuming that you've already got Trippier. Syed, I also thought would rather have a midfielder who has a major goal threat or KDB with assist threat. On that judgment, I took out KDB for Salah, and I'm capsing Salah until we hear on Haaland. Fair enough. That is completely understandable. Any news from FPL Tips and Tricks? I haven't seen anything, mate. I haven't seen anything. I've seen Luke Kempner put out another video with Pep, though, just trolling people, saying that Haaland starts, and then he says starting to get on his nerves, basically, with the foot injury. And then he said Foden is playing FIFA. And then he just sort of looks around the corner of his bedroom or something and says, Phil, come on, stop playing it. It's quite funny. But yeah, it's just, there's no official news by the looks of it so far. But again, this is only, I mean, we're getting to that point now where I probably need to start making my moves. -4 for you, Patrick. You transferred out Cancelo and you thought he was going to have a ban. Oh, mate, I'm so sorry to hear that. I did tweet out, and sorry if you missed me talking about it. But yeah, it's always just be careful with that and just make sure that he's definitely going to be suspended. Guaita for Raya, last week 55 points. Haaland was captain transfer, didn't make it. Well, I mean, I think Guaita has a very good chance of getting a clean sheet. I mean, a goalkeeper transfer on this week, maybe not ideal. Of course, the Cancelo move as well, that's not perfect. But look, Patrick, it's all good, mate. It's a learning curve for us all. So good luck for this week, bud. Abdullah, De Bruyne gets at least 2 assists. I hope that will be the case if he starts. But yeah, I mean, look, let's just hope and fingers crossed we get some news. Hiya, George. FPL counted your money wrong, giving you an extra 0.4 mil. Striker needed for 9.2 mil. Life is good. How did you manage to get that? I've never seen a miscalculation of money. I mean, if you get a striker for 9.2 mil, you might as well get Darwin then, bud, at 9, right? Do I have a good feeling on winning my cup match today? To be honest, I don't give a toss about the cup, really. That's yeah, that's my feeling on it, to be honest. I feel if I go through, I go through, but it just doesn't matter to me. It's literally secondary to me playing for rank. Right, let's try and find some news then, shall we? Because Guys, while I'm looking for the news, if you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. And yeah, we're trying to reach that 500 mark. We're trying to reach it. I'm not too sure we'll get there before the end of the stream, but yeah, I would very much appreciate the support. Jules, you sold Solanke with an additional 3.2 in the bank. Unless I'm bad at maths, it counted wrong. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a look at your history to fully work it out. But yeah, it's normally very, very unusual for the game to give you extra money. Like, that's a cheat code, mate. If you've got if you had that actually happen. Check from FPL Harry. Is he live? Yeah, he is live. He is live. So he has gone for 1 week punt on Perisic. Fair play to him. He's actually benching Solanke ahead of Wilson. That's interesting. That's interesting. Sebastian, are you going to play World Cup Fantasy? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I've been debating it, and I don't know. I feel like I would rather spend the time, to be honest, improving this channel and just, you know, putting out better FPL content throughout the World Cup break. Just in terms of, I don't know, covering players to watch and just all that type of stuff. Really, wildcard drafts, if you like. Not really wildcard, but you know what I mean. Unlimited transfer drafts. I just think it will be better for me at this point. I've not even reached 500 subscribers yet, right? So that was my goal. So I just think World Cup Fantasy isn't going to be a good move for me. I did debate it though. Keith, morning, mate. Chanabanda, is Haaland starting? I don't know yet, bud. But at the moment, the armband's on him for me. We'll have to. I think we're going to find out some news soon. I've got FPL Harry on in the background. I've got Twitter on a refresh, so hopefully we'll get some news, bud. Ian, you transferred Pope to Alisson for your 1 week transfer, as I'm pretty happy with the rest of my side. That's fair enough, bud. I think targeting the fixture for a clean sheet is ideal there. Jack Horseman, downgrade Trent or Saka to be able to buy Darwin Nunez. I don't think you sell either of them. I don't think you get Darwin in, to be honest with you, Jack. I don't think you need to sell 2 really good options this week to buy another good option. It doesn't make sense. What else? What other sort of, I don't know, options have you got? Yeah, news coming at 10:45. That's what I've just seen from Team News and Ticks. But I don't know. I don't know if I can risk it. Like we're at 20 to 11 now. It's just if I don't make a move and the website crashes again. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the app ready as well. I'm going to get the app ready. Yeah, Abdul, I've just seen that tweet as well, mate. The thing is, this week's really tricky for me because I haven't really planned for De Bruyne or Haaland not starting, to be honest. I just sort of backed that, you know, it's the last week that Pep surely is going to put out the best 11 that he can. Surely. He wants to... there's no way, there's no doubt in my mind that he wants to be top of the league before this World Cup break. He has to be playing these two, right? Yeah, server will crash. I guess the thing is for me is that like the cover is that Mitrovic isn't playing. I've got Andreas on the first option. So even if I don't make a move in time, then Andreas comes on for Mitrovic. It'll just be a little bit gutting that if De Bruyne doesn't start, I could easily go De Bruyne to Salah, right? So that is kind of my moves now. I'm thinking that I would maybe go to De Bruyne to Salah if he doesn't start, and then maybe just play Andreas ahead of Mitrovic. If we get news that De Bruyne and Haaland are starting, then I would probably do Mitrovic to Solanke and keep the armband on Haaland. Yeah, so Harry's just talking about moving it to Haaland as well, as long as he starts. Like that's the point. Yeah, no, I know Mitrovic isn't playing, so kind of him being in the team or not doesn't make a difference, right? We can literally just do this. The reason why I'm not doing that though is because if the site crashes and I want to make a transfer, I want to have Mitrovic in my team. So if I did transfer him out, then the person I transfer in automatically gets put in. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but that's what happened with Ivan Toney with me, because he was on the third bench for me and I couldn't get Darwin in time. I can't go to Martial, bud. I've got 0.2 million in the bank, so I'd need to take a -4 to get to him. So I'm not convinced with taking a -4. I've already taken an unnecessary one last week, and it's just no more minuses for me. It's so funny though, isn't it? That really, like, just all of us as managers now with this website and this app, like Harry's done this exactly the same thing. He's got his mobile in front of him. Like, we shouldn't be in this position. I really hope the website's been fixed, to be honest, and it doesn't crash again. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Oh, is Martial 6.7? Is he? You're right. You're right. I thought for some reason he was more expensive. I thought he was 7 point something. that throws a proper. Oh man, that throws something into the mix for me now. I don't know why I thought he was more expensive. Massive oversight by me there. Thanks for pointing that out. Best forward under 7.8 million. Now I know that Martial was that cheap. I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, Solanke, I think, is still a good option. We've got a doctor back in Watkins, which I'm not convinced with, but good luck with that. And I think, to be honest with you, the best option you've got is more than likely Martial, I want to say, is a 1 week, really. If you want safety, then Solanke. And if you want to take maybe a little bit of a gamble, then Wilson, I think, is still a good shout, right? If he starts. George, Pope, Trippier, Cancelo, Gahey, Zaha, Rashford, KDB, Martinelli, Darwin, Haaland, Andreas or Nico for the last spot. Go Andreas, mate. He's on set pieces with Mitrovic being out, right? Yeah, Martial might start. Indeed, we were talking about it earlier in the stream, I think, before you joined. I do actually think he's a good option. I do actually think he's a good option. Okay. But I know, mate. Tell me about it, Devin. Tell me about it. He's the most injury-prone player in the Premier League, right? How much is Richarlison? If we ever got news that Richarlison started, I don't know if I don't think Paul O'Keefe predicted that, but what's okay, he's 8.4. He's a little bit more. He's a little bit more than 7.9. Sebastian, you also subscribed to the channel, the other user. Thank you so much, bud. Appreciate that, mate. I don't know why the notifications aren't working. I set up Stream Elements yesterday and I was really happy with it, but it's not working for some reason. So thank you to all the new subscribers if you have subscribed. And of course, if you haven't already, then hit that button for me. Like I say, it was a little bit of a stretch maybe to get to 500 today, but yeah, I'm loving the support of the channel. Brought in Kulu for Andreas. Good move, Seth. Good move, mate. George, cheers, legend. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Hopefully it goes well. Here we go. Hold on. this video? Like, what is this? He's just got a bunch of random people saying I'm not starting. There's going to be... Okay, Erling Haaland is starting, apparently. That's what we've got. We've got some weird video, but... Haaland, Foden both start, apparently. So there's no De Bruyne news by the looks of it. But I'm very, very happy with keeping the captaincy on Haaland. I think on that news, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that transfer now from Mitrovic to someone. It's just a question mark of, do I risk it? Do I go for Martial? I mean, the thing is that I'm basically saying that, you know, I feel like Rashford is enough. That's why I feel like I should go with Solanke. I do like him as a punt, though. So Haaland's definitely starting, guys, by the looks of it. That's from I've just watched Harry's stream, watching the video basically, and it looks like Haaland's starting. Same for Foden as well. Man, this is. What do I do, guys? Come on, help me out then. I'll tell you what, because it's game week 16, it's the last one. Who would you do? Who would you put in? Solanke or Martial? I'll let you guys decide. I'll just, you know, I don't even know if I can do a poll on the stream, to be honest. I've never done it before, but I don't even know if I can do it from OBS. Yep, just mention that, Abdullah. Both of them starting. So I've got the captaincy on Haaland, which I'm happy with. Crashed. Okay. Well, it's all good because, like I said, I've got the captaincy on it. So, okay, it's like fine, he didn't crash. Maybe. Let me just double check on my pick team. I can do the transfers in a minute. Okay. I'm going to keep that there. So, as we've said there, Captain Haaland is on. So I'll keep this on screen so that we've got something to go back to. Transfers. You reckon Everton beat Bournemouth? Oh, Martial, you think, bro? Who to captain, Haaland or Salah? Seems okay now. Perfect, Keith. That's good news. Syed, man, I'm going to back City. I've got to back Haaland, mate. I just think that he's the better option. Quickly do the transfer. I'm not going to rush with it. I'm not. I feel like the website's okay. We've got 10 minutes. I'm going to keep calm with it. I'm going to try and work out. I don't know if I can do a poll. That's what I'm going to try and work out now. Just to get the feelers out for the guys that are watching. Let's have a look. Site is still up. Harry's just said that as well. So... That's the thing. I don't know if I need like a certain level of like, I don't know, subscribers, or the channel needs to be different. I'm not sure if I can actually do a poll like without a certain amount of subscribers. I can't see how to do it. Like, maybe I'm stupid, but anyway, it seems like it's Martial or Solanke for me. So already I've got George saying Martial. Sebastian Solanke is just a good transfer. Evan is not that good. This is already then. There's one person saying two different things, or sorry, two people saying two different things. Ian, your team this week is Alisson, Trippier, Anderson, Cancelo, Zaha, KDB vice captain, Almiron, Trossard, Andreas, Kane, Haaland captain. Very good squad, mate. Very good. KDB or Cancelo news? No, not by the looks of it. I think most people have concentrated on Foden and Haaland. I'm still going to back that De Bruyne gets the minutes. I think he needs to play his best team to get the 3 points. He does. He's not going to want to get into the World Cup with not being top of the league. I just, that's my view on Pep. I can't see him rotating people. So Who knows? I'm still happy with Andreas coming in though. If De Bruyne doesn't get on, it's it's not ideal, but so be it. You have to go for Salah when the whole world are going for Haaland. Imagine the jump if Salah scores more. Okay, well take the risk, bud. You've got rank to burn. I've got rank to gain. I can't burn the rank. That's the problem, right? Start Shaw or Trips. I would probably start. Oh my god, that's a difficult one, bud. Oh, that's so difficult. Start Shaw. Start Shaw. I have to back the United boy. I have to. I don't know. Nah, it's just so difficult, that one. Crazy. Lisandro Martinez or Akanji? I'd probably back the City boy. It's sour. So I absolutely love Martinez, but I'm just not sure with us. I feel like there's start Trippier over Shaw. I'm just not convinced that we're going to keep a clean sheet. Start Trippier over Shaw and go Akanji over Martinez. Right. I mean, look, we've got unlimited transfers for next week. If I go really punty in Martial, it doesn't really matter. It's game week 16. I feel like I know I've just mentioned about captaincy and I've got rank to gain, not to burn, but I think I'm okay and comfortable with going with Martial. I'm going to do it so then I can just get it out of the way. Fuck it. Confirm. Right, boys. Refreshing. Martial is in. Martial is in. Crazy. Maybe I vice captain. Do I vice captain De Bruyne still, do you think? Shall I put it on Darwin maybe? Nah, I think I'll just keep it on De Bruyne. Right, Ruben Diaz starting. I'm not convinced with that. I'm not convinced that he starts. Again, it's not full team news. It was just kind of those two people really that got leaked. Tanoki, I think my move might be to move Wilson here. You're 0.2 short of Wilson to Darwin. Oh, that's really unlucky, bud. Sorry to hear that. What other moves are you considering, though, Tanoki? Good to see you, by the way. Saka, Foden, Martinelli, Zaha, or Andreas. Anyone you could move for Rashford? Foden's just been apparently flagged as starting, so I think you keep him. Martinelli and Saka, well, we know they're great for Arsenal. Zaha against Forest. I think Andreas is the only one I would move out for Rashford, to be honest. You captain Salah when Haaland scored 3 and assisted 2, yeah, and then you back KDB when Salah scored a brace. The deep. Yeah, that's, if you would have got those two decisions right, you would have been right up there, mate, in the mix, wouldn't you? I think probably 3 digits, if I'm not wrong. Abdullah, is Ruben Diaz and Wilson starting? I think Wilson starts, yes. I don't think Diaz does, though, if I'm honest. There hasn't been specific news on that. That's just my opinion on it. I don't think he does. Patrick, will we lose value with every transfer? Well, okay, it's a bit of a tricky one. We can maybe go through that post-deadline, Patrick, if you don't mind. I'll keep that in the bank for 5 minutes' time. Once the deadline's closed, I'll talk about how the value works for it. Sebastian, Wilson or Akanji to play, I think you just start Wilson. I think he's going to be fine. It's only illness. Abdullah, Liverpool assets won't do anything against Southampton. I'm not convinced on that, bud. You do love a little controversial question, don't you, bud? I love having you on here because it's just you just keep things mixed up. But I think I will back Liverpool 100% against Southampton. I think we're seeing a minimum 2-0. Yeah, Tanoki, I think you have to keep Foden now with the news that he's starting, bud. Against Brentford at home, that's an amazing fixture. Good luck, Saeed, mate. Good luck. Good luck. Whatever your choice is, good luck, sir. If you've captained Salah, then I do wish the FPL gods are with you, sir. But for my selfishness, I'm going to have to say that I think, I need Haaland to do some absolute massive damage this afternoon. Tanoki, Emerson to Gabriel could be one, and Gahey is starting at the moment. Okay, well, Gahey against Forest, I still think that's a good person to be starting. I mean, Tanoki, if you've only just joined, I've been mentioning that I'm not convinced with defensive transfers this week unless you absolutely feel that your attackers are in a good place. I just feel there's so much more upside to attack to attack an attacker, let's say. I think we will see Salah, Darwin and Firmino blanking. Fair enough. Fair enough. We will see how your prediction plays out, bud. Tanoki, Wilson to Jesus or Emerson to Gabriel. Wilson to Jesus then. If you're gonna make a move and you think Wilson's the one to go for Jesus. I know. Yeah, I think Wilson to Jesus definitely. Haaland should score at least a brace. I hope so. What's with the Liverpool hate? He's a huge Man City fan. And there it goes. And there comes the truth. Yeah, mate, I'm you know, I don't know. I think United have probably got more reason to dislike Liverpool than you have as a City fan. I'm going to be honest. You are the true definition of a money club. So we can't really be talking about rivalries or hatred towards another club any more so than I think United and Liverpool in terms of rivalry. I know that obviously City and us are rivals as well, but I don't know. I think that's kind of that's not good enough reasoning to be saying that Liverpool are going to blank, mate. I think the fixture is absolutely phenomenal for Liverpool. So what I'm saying is I've got much more reason as a Red to be hating the other Red team, mate, and I'm backing them to do very well. But listen, it was made, wasn't it? We put a red hoodie on. We put the red hoodie on. We've backed Martial. It's a Sunday afternoon game as well, guys. Like, this is where dreams are made of for rank gain, aren't they? This fixture right here. This is what I've set myself up for a green arrow here, surely. You've got a gut feeling that Ward-Prowse is going to score. Well, listen, mate, I spoke about him really early on in the channel. I felt like he was an option at one point. Tanoki will back me on this because he's been here since pretty much the beginning. And we were talking about this as options, and I don't know, mate. I know he's on set pieces, but come on. You've got to back Liverpool. You've got to back Liverpool in this fixture, man. It doesn't matter who your rivals are. You've got to back them. Triple Arsenal confirmed. Tanoki, good luck, sir. Good luck. After not getting selected in the England squad, you think he's going to kick back and just be like, "No, you should have picked me, Gareth." I'm not sure. One minute to the deadline, guys. 1 minute. So get those bench orders sorted out. For me, it's Andreas, Nico, Justin. I think I'm pretty confident, guys. Captaincy on Haaland, vice-captaincy on De Bruyne. Now we've got news that Haaland should be starting. I think that's an absolute no-brainer to captain him. If you go differential, then very, very good luck to all of you. Of course, one more plug before the deadline hits, then please hit that subscribe button for me. And we'll grow this channel as best we can, guys. But love having you here with me. It's been great. 444. We're on the 444. We're on the 444, guys. If we can get 450, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. Share the stream, like it. Let's get people on board. If we can get to 450, it's not quite the 500 I wanted, but I'd still be very, very happy with that. Your prediction: Southampton 2-1. Abdullah, please, man, please. Nico before Andreas. No, I'm going to put Andreas there because he's on set pieces. Tanoki. So with Mitrovic out, he's going to be taking the penalties. So I think if there's any late news or any sort of substitution that needs to happen, that's why I've gone with that. Certainly is. It certainly is the deadline. So we've got this up here. I can actually screenshot for the first time in ages because the website hasn't gone stupidly crazy. So yep, that's the deadline, guys. We are locked. I'm going to tweet out my team as well. Right, Patrick, if you're still about, mate, after I've tweeted the lock-in, we will be talking about value, and I'll just explain for any of you that don't understand what's happening with the World Cup. We'll go through some details on it. We'll go through some details. You locked in Salah as captain, Syed. Good luck, good luck. Sebastian, United is just not that balanced. They lose to Brentford but beat Arsenal. Yeah, true, but hey-ho. We've taken the risk. Manuel, maybe annual 9-0 for Southampton, but Salah blank like Bournemouth. Could you imagine? And a hat-trick for Darwin, please. That would be amazing. Double hat-tricks. One for Darwin, one for Haaland. That would be the dream. Right, game week 16 locked. Mitro to Martial. Cool. Right, we're tweeted. Seems as much as I want to get a green arrow, but I have a feeling he's going to blank. Liverpool will be poor again. I mean, listen, I'm going to hold you to this. When you join the next stream, it might be boxing. Excuse me, before I stream again. I'm going to hold you to this, Abdullah. I'm going to hold you to it. You Haaland fans are killing me here. Please give me some hope, lads. Look, I think Salah could do well. I genuinely do, mate. If there's any kind of hope for you, I do think he's still a good captaincy choice. Tanoki, heck, I captained him last week and he scored. Yeah, indeed. KDB 19-pointer incoming. Have you gone for De Bruyne captain? Good luck if you have, sir. Good luck if you have. Right. So talking about World Cup, right? The first thing to think about is that this is not the same as a wild card. So first and foremost, if you're worried about or not worried, but if you're taking mini leagues, let's say seriously, maybe you're in some money ones, whatever it is, it's worth noting that at the end of the season, this is the first key point, at the end of the season, if you are on equal points to another manager and across the board in an overall rank perspective, if you're on equal points with someone, the amount of net transfers you've made across the season will affect where you finish. So basically, if me and Tanoki were on 2,000 points each, but I'd made 37 transfers and he had made 38, I would be winning the mini league between us both. So ultimately, you need to be thinking about making the moves, I would say, as late on as possible, unless you think, and this is where the value is the important question now, before the value increases, because the prices are going to be frozen, I think from tomorrow, maybe as early as Monday, you need to put a player in essentially from the moment the website comes up tonight. Think about one of the moves of someone dropping and someone going up to just gain that 0.2 million or potentially just 0.1. In terms of the selling price for players, this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. For every 0.2 million worth of increase after you purchase a player, you can get an extra 0.1 million to spend. So perfect example is if I bought Callum Wilson at 7 million and he rose to 7.3 million, I could only sell him for 7.1. If he rose to 7.4, I could sell him for 7.2. So you don't actually gain the extra 0.4 million in sell value. That's just your overall team value. But you will gain the extra 0.2 to purchase on another player. So that's kind of how the value works. So hopefully that made sense. It's maybe I need to do a full video on it to break it down a little bit better while showcasing on screen, because I can't do it now, the website's crashed, right? But hopefully that makes sense to you. So if you're still listening, Patrick, if that's clear, let me know. If anybody else wants to throw in some comments on that as well, feel free to add it. But that's the situation for the World Cup. It's not considered a wild card. It is multiple transfers. You just don't take hits for them. That's the difference. Cool. Right, we're done. Tanoki. Yes, same time we will banter here on stream again. Yeah, definitely, mate. 23 points to Haaland. Is legendary Nico Williams in the World Cup, by the way? He's Welsh, right? I think he is Welsh, yes. Are Wales in the World Cup? Oh, yeah, they're in our group, aren't they? They're in our group. I'd expect him to be into the team. I'd expect him to be in there. Nico Williams, Wales team. I think he should be. Wales World Cup squad. Let's have a look. Okay, so you think after net transfers it's the team ID number? Really? That's mad. So if people got the 3 digits when it first went live, then they've got a very good chance of getting a higher rank. I didn't know that. Prices freeze tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is the day. Are you here till 11:30, Dan? Yeah, probably. I'll stick around till the team news fully comes out. Chasing Red Arrows, I reckon so many managers will sell and buy back same player during this break and lose big money. Well, the thing is, again, with team value, it's such a strange concept, right? If it's kind of a game within the game. Some people don't really pay attention to it. So I think you're right that there will be players making that mistake. But I don't think, in terms of, let's say, the top 100,000 managers, they're going to know. So they're not going to make the mistake. Perfect, Patrick. I'm glad you understood. I've been a teacher in previous roles, let's say, about different things in my career. So maybe I can teach people about FPL as well, but that can come maybe at a later date. He is in the Wales squad. Yeah, I've just had a look. So I think that's well deserved. I mean, he's had consistent starts really for Forest. I know he's had a few bench-ins, but that's only because Forest's squad is so massive. Nico pockets Rashford to knock England out of the group stage, then you celebrate. No, mate. We should comfortably get through that group, although I don't back us to get any further than the quarterfinals, to be honest. I think if I'm not wrong, England World Cup route. Wouldn't we face someone like France? And if I'm sorry, but I'm not too sure that we beat France. Like I'd absolutely want England to go as far as we can, but I just feel like there's just too many good teams. Brazil, Argentina. Even a team like Denmark could easily do something to us if they get through. If we got a semi-final with like Brazil or Germany or Spain or someone like that, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be so difficult. Tanoki, none. My country bad at football. Maybe one day, mate. Maybe one day. Abdullah, who are you supporting? I'm supporting England. CR7 is finally going to win a World Cup and going to close the Messi versus Ronaldo debate. I don't know. I kind of think that Argentina have got a very good chance along with Brazil. I do relate to the non-English Brits in that I do enjoy England floundering. I think, to be honest, the whole of FIFA, right, enjoy England failing. I honestly feel that way sometimes. I think that because we invented the sport, there's just this kind of underlining, like, finger pointing. Just, you failed, it's our sport. So obviously it just feels crap when we don't do very well. But I don't know. The Euros, I feel like we were so close to that. And I do think that we'll win another major trophy in my lifetime. According to the holder curse, the holders don't make it out of the group stage. It's pretty bizarre. My maths tutor used to tell people to bet the holders lose the first match. Interesting. What a strange statistic that is. I won't research into it too much because, like I say, I'm not really a massive gambling man. I take punts here and there. 445 subscribers. Perfect, guys. We're nearly there. 55 away from that magic 500 mark. We are getting there. Wales may surprise a few people. I think so. I don't think they're a team to be underestimated. Maybe they get out the group stages with us. Who knows? Do I play Fantasy 5? No, I don't, mate. The only other fantasy that I kind of play is Ultimate Fan. But it's not really... I don't put any money in it. I just log in to get the coins and try and get reasonable players. But I don't... I don't really play it religiously enough, to be honest. So, no, I don't play any other fantasy game. So, no, Dan, it's because the English fans always creating a mess everywhere they go, always drinking loud and creating trouble. Yeah, I suppose we have got a pretty bad behaviour in other countries. I'm not going to lie there. There's a lot of people that do have very good behaviour, though. So I feel like, unfortunately, the 5% of football fans that go and create problems and trouble and essentially antisocial behaviour, they're the ones that get the more focus, let's say, from the media. So it's a shame because, yeah, I've always been a peaceful fan personally. Like I just don't understand the need to get involved in I don't know, loutering about, let's say. I'll have a drink for sure, but it doesn't mean that you have to just turn that into trouble, right? It's very disrespectful, but hey-ho, we were all brought up differently, right? My values are different to the next man. Patrick, I'll sail virtual offshore races. I sail virtual offshore races. Okay. Nice. Let me get my words out. I should also make content about Fantasy 5. It only takes 3 minutes. Well, that's an interesting thing. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at it. Tanoki, would it be more painful? Would it be more painful if France don't make it out of the group because of the curse, than England still go far and bottle it? Well, it's going to be more painful if England go far and bottle it, for me personally. For sure. No brainer there. But look at what we did in the Euros final. Just after that goal, the early goal. Dreams were shattered that day. Gents, dreams were shattered. I did actually cry, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why. It's such a strange thing, football, because, you know, away from FPL, it is like, it's an emotional sport, especially when you know, in my age at 33, I've watched England in every major tournament since obviously being a young boy, and we've just never really hit the right moment, the right route, anything in any Euro, in any World Cup. I don't know. It's been such a sour taste in my mouth, right? Watching them for so long with such good talent coming out of this country. And now I finally felt like we've got a team that could do it. We got to the final and then we bottled it. And it just upset me. It really did. What's my rank in my own mini league? Good question. I think the website's still there for me to scroll. 16th. 16th out of, I don't know how many, because if I click on it, it's going to take away this page. Patrick, it's like a simulator with real polars from sail yachts and with actual weather forecasts changing every 6 hours. Wow. That sounds really intense. Can you actually sail in real life as well, Patrick, if you don't mind me asking? Because I actually grew up in a seaside town. I've moved away now to the middle of England, but I grew up in a seaside town, and it was always something that I'd love to be able to do, but I've just life just hasn't taken me that way, I guess. Tanoki, you wish you could feel that, but the country will never make the World Cup probably in your lifetime. Who knows though? Things can change, Tanoki, right? Things can change. There are countries that, you know, absolutely, that you would say that across Europe there are a lot of countries that you think they're an absolute start. There are a lot of countries in Africa that you think they're an absolute guarantee. South American countries, they're an absolute guarantee. There are definitely some countries that surprise us when they don't make it, like Italy, for example. But I think, you know, no, you do have an opportunity in your lifetime to maybe get there. If you win one, though, I think that's maybe a different question. Dan, do I watch cricket? No, I don't. I don't watch, and I've said cricket, so I've butchered the name, right? No, I don't watch cricket, mate. Football's really the only sport I follow. I mean, I watched UFC about 5 years ago when it was sort of like, I don't know, up and coming. I don't really watch so much of it anymore. It was more to do with when I was at university, a couple of my friends watched it, so it was kind of like I'll just watch it with them. But it never really took me that much. I watch Wimbledon. I don't mind tennis, so I'll watch Wimbledon. boxing match. If it's a good one, I'll watch a boxing match. But there isn't really as much. The thing is, I played football from pretty much the age of 5 years old all the way until about, I'd say, my late teens, maybe 19, 20 in terms of 11 aside. When I went to university, then I just played 5 aside. And then pretty much I just got old, really. I just started to, drink, have a family, do all the other bits and pieces, and I've just fallen out with playing it. But it's been the first love in terms of a sport for me. But I would always root for England in whichever sport, bud. So Dan, my country Pakistan, also not good at football, but we got in cricket, so going to win the World Cup come Sunday. Good luck to them, those cricket fans then, sir. Good luck to Pakistan in the cricket. Genuinely, grassroots football here is dead, and we have never gone even close. Okay, fair enough. That's such a shame. It is such a shame, because I do think, football as a sport is something that can bring a lot of communities together. It's something that I grew up on. It definitely kept me out of trouble as a youngster, I'm not going to lie. It was kind of my go-to thing for weekends, right? Of course, when I was 15, 16, I was still kind of, let's say, maybe a bit streetwise, but, I never really got into any serious trouble, fortunately. And I think football was a lot to do with that. It helped me with discipline. It helped me with just all sorts of different things, really, I think. It's very, very helpful, I think, for youngsters. So I'll get my daughter and my son-to-be, he's arriving in a few weeks' time, hopefully. I'll definitely be getting both my children involved in sport wherever I can. Abdullah, you're here from... Abdullah, I'm from here, but my parents from Pakistan, so definitely know the passion. Great stuff, mate. Good to hear it. Qualify for the World Cup in your lifetime? Genuinely impossible, considering we have never even qualified for the Asian Cup, except the year we hosted it. Fair enough. I just dare to dream, sir. That's maybe my outlook. Patrick, I was skipper on the charter boat, sailed a lot from Austin to Ramsgate and back over a weekend, and once in the Caribbean for a couple of months. Sounds absolutely beautiful, mate. Sounds absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I'd love to learn it, and just, again, with a family, it does definitely limit. My next sort of, like, let's say 5 to 10 years of my life are going to be focused around my children. That's pretty much what I've decided. Maybe even more than that, right? Maybe even 15 years. But come retirement, I'm on it, mate. I'm on it. You dared to dream too, and Captain Salah. Smooth, Syed, smooth. Mate, I really do hope it works out for you. I do. Even though it will absolutely annihilate me. Tanoki, yeah, we have a lot of people here really passionate about football, and it's a place Premier League clubs come here to farm money in friendlies. That is true. That is true. We do tend to go over there quite a lot. But I think, to be honest, it's more about the Asian market as well, right? It caters for both markets because it's a lot easier for the Asian fans to fly over to you to watch the matches. And the thing is, like United as a club, the following that we have is absolutely huge over there. Double clean sheet points. I mean, in a best case scenario for me personally, yes, that would be the case. That would be the case. You went to Hamble for an Ocean Yacht Master course. Lovely. Sounds absolutely amazing, bud. Sounds absolutely amazing. How does it work, though, when you're like part of a sailing club or whatever it is? Yacht club, sailing club. Do you actually have to own your own, or do you like rent it, or is there just one that can be used across the club, or multiple? Because again, I've just never really looked into it enough, but I'm genuinely curious. Syed, why can't we all share the goals? Haaland gets 3, Salah gets 3. I mean, look, I'd take that. I would take that, but I also then want Darwin to get at least 3 assists for that hat trick. Which part of England am I? I'm in the Midlands, my friend. I'm in the Midlands. But I was born and raised in the south of England, so hence my accent. I haven't got a Midlands accent for England. I was born just shy of the east of London, in a county called Essex. Grew up in a seaside town around there, and then came to university in the Midlands and stuck around. Got some work, met my wife, bought a house here. It's a lot cheaper to live in the Midlands than it is down south, so it was a better life balance for me. So I made the move and stuck around here. And it's lovely, really, because I've got the Peak District not too far. Lake District is, again, not too far away. So going for walks and stuff like that in the summer is something that I do. Not so much in the winter anymore, but yeah, it's a nice picturesque area of the country. Toki, by the way, we actually have players good enough to become fringe players in League 1 or 2 for a few years. They'll never play for our country, though. Oh, man, it's just... that's just greedy, yeah, sorry. I need that 9-pointer, though, man. I need that 9 points. If you get the Salah hat-trick, I've got to get the Darwin assist, surely. Yeah, it's such a shame, though, because I think if grassroots football was maybe a bit more solidified then in the country, maybe you do get, the odd player that comes through. But I'm just... football. What would you consider your country's first sport, though? What is it that's the driving force in, like, let's say, your communities and schools and stuff like that? Because I do think football is a massive one here. Like, that's probably why we create quite a lot of talent here. All Liverpool fans, sorry to tell you, but I think none of your strikers are in form. Southampton have a new manager, and there will be a new mindset in Southampton which they need, mate. I mean, look, I agree with you, but Nathan Jones has been in charge for 2 days. He cannot instill any type of new tactics in 2 days. Like, if you've played any football in your life physically, then you'll know that a manager takes time to implement strategies. It just does. I'm not saying that Southampton were a rubbish side against Hasenhüttl, but the results were not going their way. So maybe Darwin's not in form, but I think Southampton are out of form. So I'm still going back to this conversation. You might be baiting me so hard here, but I don't care. I'm going to keep biting. Darwin's going to do something today. First sport, football and basketball. Yes, by first sport, I mean just as in, I suppose, what people are interested in the most, right? Because you always get that. So when I was doing physical education or PE in school, I always had, like, football, basketball was kind of there. It was a fringe sport, but I would say maybe cricket was probably there. Rugby as well in this country. I would say football, rugby and cricket were probably the 3 in my school that people enjoyed the most. Patrick, you started sailing with a group of friends and chartered a boat with a skipper. I went a lot and the skipper asked me to co-skipper, and then after the course I became skipper. My missus just said, watching your fantasy football. Nice. Patrick, yeah, well, that sounds great, mate, to be honest. That sounds great. I'd love to do it. I mean, like I say, there was a couple of my university friends that also grew up in sailing towns in England. And a few of them, I think one of them, he's gone into the army and he can do it now. He can sail, and I'd love to go sailing with him. Probably to learn from mates is maybe better. Syed, yeah, sorry to pull you away from your missus, mate. Sorry to put... I mean, we're only going to be live probably for another 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm going to go back to my wife as well, right? So, but hello, Mrs. Salim. Hello. Tanoki, I would dare say, worst first world country to be born an athlete. Damn. That is really, really... really, really unfortunate. But then things like surfing and surely like swimming and other bits and pieces... Like, I know that, coastal towns probably are maybe a little bit better, but I don't know. It's a shame that, to be honest. And the system being piss poor as well. I mean, I don't think England's schooling system is very, very good. But one thing I would say is that, I don't know, maybe the grassroots conversation, there's definitely a lot more activity here in grassroots in terms of investment and just in general, a lot of passionate parents and individuals across football to put enough into place for us. And other sports as well. I mean, Olympic sports as well are very, very big here. Athletics in general, I think we've got a lot of good facilities in this country to facilitate that. That's another sport that I watch, by the way. I watch a lot of the Olympics. Abdullah, but with that new manager, I think they will press on to Liverpool and put pressure on them. But then, do you not see that if you put pressure on a team like Liverpool, like Tottenham did, what happens in the game? 9 times out of 10, if they come out and press, Liverpool then got space. And when you have a person like Trent Alexander-Arnold that can pass the ball like he can, who is the person that runs in behind? Mo Salah, Darwin Núñez. even Bobby Firmino to some degree, the front three for Liverpool, if Southampton come out and attack and play, they are going to get destroyed. That is the way I see it. So I don't feel like that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a little bit of a deep line for Southampton. I think Liverpool are going to have to break them down, but I still see them doing the business. That's my view on it. In Pakistan, only cricket exists. No sports get more attention than cricket. Hopefully we will play the FIFA World Cup in 2030. I mean, you are very good at cricket though, right? Like you've got quite a few honours. Again, I don't follow it too much, but I'm pretty certain that you've done very, very well as a country in history. We have a world-class level athlete in swimming, but he was trained in the US. He made it in spite of being a citizen, not because of it. Fair enough. Patrick, I'm not too much interested in the World Cup. Martinez still wants to play Eden Hazard, Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Carrasco, he doubts about Trossard. I mean, yeah. The thing is, this is the same situation with us from an international perspective. Gareth Southgate I think he was maybe a little bit reluctant to go really bold. Harry Maguire shouldn't really be in the team, in my opinion. And that's not because I don't think that he's been good for England. It's just that he's out of form for his club. And if you aren't playing consistent minutes in football, as we know, you get rusty. You go cold. You know, I'm not being funny, but against Villa, when we won 4-2, he hardly looked sharp. Do you know what I mean? I respect him as a footballer to get where he's got, absolutely. To wear the armband for Manchester United is not an easy feat to say that you've obtained. But I agree that with international managers, they make a lot of mistakes. And Trossard should definitely be in the Belgian squad. He's been phenomenal. Over these past 6 weeks especially, he's been absolutely great. The first few weeks, the only reason he wasn't really in form was because he was basically playing left wing back. So, Tanoki, 5 more minutes of stream and we go again. Oh God, Candy doesn't strike again. Oh my Lord. The early kickoff, boys. The early kickoff. What are we doing? On the bright side, Gandhi is on your side for the Salah captaincy. And I say 5 more minutes of the stream. I'm going to stick around for 11:30 when we get some team news, hopefully. And then I'll just talk about it for a bit. So, yeah, I say 5 minutes of the stream. Maybe 5 minutes of answering questions. Then we'll just talk about the stream. Talk about the teams. Patrick, Pakistan is very strong in squash. Interesting. Not a sport I follow, sir. So I wouldn't actually know much about how good we are. Or how good you are, sorry. Patrick, it was 20 years ago today. We don't have a single player who plays in a major squash tournament. There you go. So it's a bit of history. It's a bit of history, Patrick. Tanoki Maguire shouldn't be there, and no, his recent England form is poor too. Yeah, okay. I mean, recent England form, yes, but I meant as in like for in the Euros and essentially is the success from him. He's definitely just a mate, right? That's the way I look at it from Gareth. He's just been on the phone to him and saying, please pick me. Rashford is amazing when he starts with Martial. I agree. I think actually now, like looking at my team even more and more, that Martial-Rashford combo is so juicy for a Sunday Green Arrow, boys. What did you do, Boo Boo? What did you do? I love saying that name out loud, man. I can't get over it. It's such a good FPL name. There's so many on Twitter. They just make me laugh when I'm scrolling through. I'm just like, I've gone with such a simple name for myself in FPL Link, and then just FPL Boo Boo, man. It just kills me saying it out loud. Abdullah, your national sport is hockey, but the situation is that your players are leaving the country due to neglection. That's such a shame. Such a shame. Hockey's another one I actually don't mind watching. But again, it's only really when it's part of the Olympics. I won't watch it outside of that. Abdullah, it was Jahangir and Yansha in 1990. Sorry if I butchered those names. To 2005 in squash. After that, no one has ever heard of squash. I feel like that's such a specific sport as well, squash. Like, who even invented it? I've never played it, ever. Lineups are out. Sources. Let's have a look. What should we go for? One football, flash scores. Who else have we got? There's loads of different ones, right? I just want to know if De Bruyne is starting. That's the main one. Everyone starts. Foden, Haaland, De Bruyne, Cancelo. Boom! That's what we're saying. That's what we're talking about. Where's the sources? Official Twitter. Let's have a look. Boom. Right, let's get this on screen. Where's my... Sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm butchering this for a sec. Boom. Boom. Haaland, Foden, De Bruyne, Cancelo. We are in, boys. We are in. We made it, boys. Good luck to those Haaland captainers. Welcome to the club. Beautiful. FPL link changed to FPL lick lick. It's just... Can you imagine? Could you imagine? Then I'll do a link up with Boo Boo. We'll do a co-stream. FPL lick lick and FPL Boo Boo. Patrick, you remember those? You had a racket from them. Interesting. Anyone share lineups in chat? Does Diaz start? He doesn't, mate. You can see the lineup on screen there, bud. Stones, Akanji, Laporte and Cancelo are the back four. And I did say I feel like he wouldn't start. I don't know. He just doesn't seem to be getting the minutes. Yeah, lineups, guys, on screen. On screen. So happy that Haaland's starting. You know, I know we got the leak anyway, but just that's a sigh of relief. And the 1 week punt of Martial. If Solanke goes and scores a brace now against Everton, I am going to be a little bit disappointed because I've had that move in my head all week. And to be honest, Abdullah, I mean, thank you for saying that about his price because I never even checked. I never even looked, to be honest. I just genuinely thought he was like 7.5. I knew it was 7 point something because when I did the price, I think I did a price video and I was like, okay, he's a little bit cheap because of he doesn't get starts, but I'm so glad I could have got to him. Lick, lick, lick. Akanji is just better than Diaz. Yeah, maybe. In terms of streams, yeah, right. So let's close up the stream now, I think, guys. Like Abdullah's mentioned it as well. Thank you so much for anybody who's still tuned in that did subscribe to the channel during the stream. I really, really appreciate the support and the love for the channel has been growing and it's been phenomenal to have you on board with me. I'm loving making content. I love these live streams as well. I think they're absolutely class. So yeah, I won't be doing a live stream more than likely now until Boxing Day. There might be an ad hoc one at some point during the World Cup. Maybe I'll do some kind of, I don't know, tinkering session or I'll just come in and just have a chat with you guys. I don't know. We'll see how my schedule looks over the next month. But most of the content that I put out between now and Boxing Day are more than likely going to be watch lists and drafts, right? So who I think is in form within the World Cup, who I think we should be considering that isn't playing in the World Cup. Because bear in mind, there's a lot of players that aren't going to the World Cup that are still going to have good fixtures from 26th of December, right? So we'll be breaking all that good stuff down. So yeah, if you aren't subscribed, then subscribe to the channel to make sure you get notified when all that content goes live. But yeah, of course, I'll always schedule a stream in advance of doing one. So it will never just be I'll just turn the stream on randomly. I'll always do it like the night before. More than likely it'd fall on a weekend if I do any more live streams. But it's been absolutely awesome having you all with me. It's just it's been so good. Yeah, thanks for joining again, Si. Top stream. Appreciate the comments. Opening during your collab. Hey everyone, welcome back. We will lick your boo boo. Holy shit. What an intro. What an intro. Yeah, no worries. I really hope that you get those well important green arrows. Like I say, I'll cover as much as content as I can across this next month. Like I say, my son is due in a couple of weeks. His due date is actually the 8th of December. So I don't know when he's going to arrive, but that will probably throw a spanner in the works in terms of how much content I can put out. I do actually get a month off paternity leave with my employer, which is very, very good. So I will have some time to be able to create content, but a lot of my duties are going to be daddy duties. So yeah, I will do a Boxing Day stream, absolutely. But yeah, stick around to on the channel to find some more content out, guys. Absolute pure love for all of this community. It's been great. It's been great. So yeah, I will probably do at least one stream, Abdullah. I will do. But like I say, with my wife's situation and the second child due, it's going to be a little bit difficult to plan. So we'll see. But I will keep you guys informed. So don't worry about that. Well, I'm going to put one more flash of the team that I've got in front of us as well for anyone that's watching retrospectively. The transfer I made was Mitro to Martial for that 1 week punt finally before the World Cup. So yeah, good luck to everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Love to you all, and I will see you very, very, very soon. Thanks a lot.